Can you see a presentation?
Yeah, we can see that.
Oh, great. Okay, present. So I think we can start a little bit earlier. It's 1 minute before 4, so it's okay. So today we will continue to learn main terminology in economy. Yesterday we learned what is like microeconomy, macroeconomy, what is scarcity, and what is economy actors. To recap quickly, economy actors is all of us who want to like gain some money, um, and economy studies what we do, what economy actors do, and how their actions and decisions and manipulation of resources, mainly scarce resources, those that do not exist in infinite amounts on the earth. Yeah, economy studies how economy actors apply those scarce resources. And today we will learn about factors of production, how we produce goods, what we need for that. We will also observe scarcity and rivalry, how they are connected. Then we will learn about normative and positive statements. And lastly, about economic models, which, yeah, we covered kind of yesterday as well, but it's important to learn them today too. Okay, first of all, factors of productions. Mainly, factors of productions are divided into 4 categories. Those are natural resources like land, water, river. When you want to build a farm or like a fabric, you need a land where to build it, and you need to do something on like there. You may need water to clean some resources. What's happening to the... Oh, okay, a lot of people. Hi everyone, glad to see you here. Yeah, so we need land for production of something. Then we need labor. Someone needs to work on our land, on our factory, on our river to, I don't know, to make crops grow, right? You want to build a farm, you bought the land, but now you need to do all the work. For this, you need to labor. You need a labor as a factor of production. Then there is a capital, but please do not judge capital as we judge in our day-to-day lives. It's not about money. Capital is actually something produced that can produce other things, like tools, machinery, actually even lamps in buildings. Like imagine a factory, there is lamps to make light for workers. Though these lamps are capital as well, at least in economical terms. Economy terms, sorry. Then there is buildings itself can be capital. Floor can be capital. Any tool that is produced and then can produce something when we apply labor to it is the capital. Okay. Actually, capital can be a financial asset, but it's not only a financial asset. Then, lastly, but not least, there is entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is putting together all of other factors of production in order to produce things. Someone has to think how to combine everything and build a system that's gonna work. There's someone who we call a businessman, right? Without businessman, we can have a worker, we can have a fabric, we can have a land, a capital, but nothing will work. Someone needs to put everything together. So yeah, in actually, almost forgot. In economy literature, you may find technology as a factor of production. Just remember that it's just entrepreneurship. Sorry. So yeah, with all of that, you can produce stuff and become a businessman. If you realize that to produce something you need those four factors, you can manage them and you can create. And that's all for factors of production. Yeah, for today. Let's move on to scarcity and rivalry. Let me remind you real quick again that scarcity is just a limited resource on which there is potentially unlimited wants. So, let's say I have a family of five kids and my wife, and there is like one tree of apples, and everyone wants some apples. Dude, can you mute yourself, please? Thanks. And apples will end, and one will stay. Yeah, so this is scarcity. But then there is rivalry. Rivalry goods. When one person consuming the good limits, I'm sorry, uh, rivalry goods are basically goods that can be described by the process of one person consuming the good and thereby limiting ability of another person to use it. So let's say, for example, if there is a cake for 4 people at the party with 10 people, then the one who hosted the party is in tapas, but also the cake becomes scarce and rival at the same time because now there is 4 people who can eat the cake, but 10 people who wants to eat the cake. Do you understand? Now, also the good example would be housing in the cities like Los Angeles. Housing is often a rival good. When house goes on rent in the good area, you will have multiple people competing for it. And when one rents the house, everyone else won't be able to do so. So once the limited resource is gone, no one else can have it. That's why there is rivalry upon this resource. That's why it's a rival good. And obviously there is non-rival goods, like air. Everyone can breathe simultaneously at the same time and it's gonna be alright. For now at least, there is plenty of air for now. Yeah. Almost always rival goods will be scarce resource. Oh, by the way, economists have rivalry spectrums, where they divide it on highly rival goods and non-rival. You need to know about all these ideas to be able to think later how can we allocate those rivalry goods amongst parties. So, for example, if you have a business, you completed all factors of production, you have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, and you create some good. This may be a good that is scarce or that will be rivalry. So, for example, you may buy a huge land in the city and make a construction there to build a lot of houses to sell them later. And it will be a rivalry good created by your business after applying some factors of production. Okay, now let's move on to normative and positive statements. Normative statements is a matter of opinion, maybe a matter of ethics, something someone thinks the world should be, like in that matter. Those are also a terminology often used in economy, which you need to know before we move on to complex models, formulas that will give you opportunity to understand how money flow works better. So you need to understand and remember all of that. Okay, again, normative statements is like an opinion about something, while positive statement is something that is not necessarily true, but something that can be tested. And now I will, judging from that, ask you a few questions. And it would be nice if you answered me like, what is the sentence? Is it like a normative statement or a positive statement? Okay, it will be a bunch of economical statements, starting with this one. Paying people who aren't working, even though they could work, is wrong and unfair. How do you think? Is it normative or positive statement? Okay, yeah, you can write in chat as well, in VC1 chat. I will read it there. I will repeat. Paying people who aren't working, even though they could work, is wrong and unfair. Is this economical statement positive or normative? Okay. Um, it takes a little bit too long to. Oh, normative? Yeah, dark side. Yeah, dark side is right. Oh, yeah. Zach, Roldanson. Yeah, you all guys are right. It's a normative statement. And it's actually an easy one. There is words like wrong and unfair, and something like that cannot be tested. It's an opinion. Alright, what about this one? Programs like welfare reduce. Programs like welfare, you know, in America there is a welfare program that when you don't work, they will pay you money for just basically existing. So programs like welfare reduce the incentive for people to work. Is it normative or is it positive statement? Okay, positive statements. Any more answers? Positive. Again, okay. Positive. Yeah, yeah. You guys are completely right. This one may feel like a normative statement, but actually it can be tested. So it's definitely positive. We can take a country or a company where there is a welfare and one where there is none, and then we will be able to see how welfare program affects people. Yeah, so it's a positive statement. Okay, there are two more. What about this one? Raising taxes on the wealthy to pay for government programs grows the economy. Is it positive or normative? Positive again. Positive, positive. Yep, it's easy already. We again can test it, so it's positive. Um, yeah, your test actually may be inconclusive or wrong at all, but there is truths and false which can be calculated in these statements, and hence it's positive. Again, we can compare countries with and without this politic implemented and so on. Okay, um, what about this one? The government should raise taxes on wealthy to pay for helping the poor. Is it normative or positive? Positive or normative? Positive. So it's not a quiz, it's just a few questions about. Yeah, it's a hard one. Normative. Crypto Pax said that it's a normative. Everyone else is saying it's a positive. Positive again. Actually, guys, it's a normative one. Yeah, Zach and CryptoPack is right. Darkside, yeah, answered true as well. It's a normative. Here's why. The one word that should help you answer it is should. Dead giveaway. We can test either someone should do something or not. We can only test how effective it's gonna be. So yeah, the government should raise taxes on wealthy to pay for helping the poor is a normative statement because it's not about testing how well it will perform. It's just a statement of opinion. Either we should or shouldn't implement it. Nice. That's it about questions. And that's it about normative and positive statements. Let's move on to the last theme of today's lesson, economic models. We won't go too deep in them, it's just introduction. And very soon we will start to um, study economic models and how they shape our world and how they shape money flows. But for now, let's just understand what they are. Economics is all about describing and predicting how economic actors will act. But it's really hard to make predictions, so economy borrowed some methods from other fields. Take for example chemistry. If we have a room filled with gas particles, they move basically randomly, but we can simplify the context and assumptions about their behavior of these particles, and then make a mathematical model based on that, which is pure gas law. Yeah, that's a mathematical formula and model. Pure gas law describes how gas moves in the room. That's it. This equation is a model, but it might be simple organism simulated on the computer, or individual cell, or insects, or even a mouse, because, well, biologists do so. When some biologists want to experiment on the human being, but can't, it's a too complex model for him, he simplifies this model and takes a cell or a mouse or an insect and works on them. Economists do the same. They do simplifying assumptions. Example of such a simplified assumption would be economy actors in the economy. Um, sorry, sorry. Example of such simplified assumption would be economy actors in the economy are rational. We all know that we are not rational. We make compulsive, almost animal-like decisions, especially when we are in groups. But for the sake of the context and the model, we may make a simplification and say that economy actors are rational. So yeah, in this context of observed system, we can make assumption for simplification that there is only one trade-off between two things, and everything else is equal. This is another assumption that we will cover later. You can check it on the right here. So we have a complex real world, we're simplifying it, and we have what is called ceteris paribus, which is basically what I described. When we have a system and we say there is only one trade-off between two things and everything else is equally efficient, let's say. Yeah. As I said yesterday, economic models can be incredibly useful, but you need to take them with a grain of salt and be very careful with them. Like, what assumptions do you make and how trustable they are, how well they fit into the system. The hard thing about economy is the fact that we can't really easily test our hypotheses and models, as we can in technical sciences. So we need to be very careful with them. But how to use those models and apply them, we will study later in our lessons. Thank you very much everyone for coming to my lesson. There are a lot of you guys today. Yeah, I'm really honored to have you all. Thank you very much. I hope to see you tomorrow as well at the same time if you enjoyed it. And if you want, you can also come to my daily meditations, which I host in the morning. I will notify y'all. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye.